TSC Sports for putting it on. I'm Braden Surprenant. TopDAWG will be joining us in just a little bit. It's running a little late, but we're here at Nicolosi's out in East County, just down the street from Patrick Henry High School. The owner of Nicolosi's is the head football coach of El Cap. He would be the name of Ron Berner Sr., and he owns the restaurant. It's just down the street from Patrick Henry High School, who will be our guest tonight on the High School Football Live Show. I'll be joined by J.T. O'Sullivan tonight, the head football coach of the Patrick Henry Patriots. I will also be joined by Mekhi Elliott and Elijah Lux. We were actually talking. They're eating food right now. They're getting a nice their grub on here at Nicolosi's, and a big thank you to Nicolosi's for having us tonight. Had an interesting conversation with both of them about pineapple on a pizza. We might have to talk about that just a little bit. But I'm Braden Surprenant, leaving you the High School Football Live Show. Lots to talk about on this evening show. Obviously, we're rounding up the high school football season here in San Diego, California. Got about a handful of weeks left, 4 weeks left to be certain, including tomorrow, and some big games throughout the county. We'll get to that in just a little bit. We'll talk with J.T. O'Sullivan, the head football coach of Patrick Henry, as well as Mekhi Elliott and Elijah Lux. We'll dive into the CIF power rankings as well. That's always a topic of controversy. One certain D3 team was complaining about the rankings this week, and I'm sure another team will be complaining about it next week. But as all of you know, I'm not a big fan of the CIF power rankings in particular. I like the CalPreps ones, and we'll dive into that and talk about all the controversial, topics when it comes to that. A lot of big games last week that went around high school football. I think the biggest game of the week last week was the Carlsbad-Torrey Pines game. I picked Torrey Pines to cover the CalPrep spread, but I also thought they were going to win. They just came a little bit short against Carlsbad. That game went down to the wire. Julian Sayin led the Carlsbad Lancers all the way down the field and scored with like 0.9 seconds left in the ball game, and they ended up winning by 1 point against Torrey Pines. That was a very exciting game last week. Other games that were kind of exciting down in D5, the Foothills Christian defeated Maranatha 20-19. That was a close game. San Diego High edged University City 14-12 last week as well. A lot of big scores also. Rancho Bernardo taking it to Westview last week 60-7, and then some other games that were, I wouldn't say expected, but other big scores around the county. Cathedral dominated Madison 52-6 last week. I thought a little bit of a surprise game. La Costa Canyon over El Camino 28-17 was an interesting game. Saints was close with Lincoln for a little bit until the final plays there in the Western League play. Lincoln went on a hold on 34-18. Mount Carmel beats Vista 26-14. They're still undefeated on the season, and Eastlake dominating performance over Olympian down in the South Bay. So a lot to get to when it comes to high school football here in San Diego. A lot to talk about on the podcast. I'm going to get to my top 10 before we bring in Coach O'Sullivan of the Patrick Henry Patriots. This week, in particular, my vote for the UT top 10, I had Cathedral 1, I have Lincoln 2, I still have Carlsbad 3, I got Torrey Pines 4, Helix 5, Mission Hills 6, Mater Dei 7, Mount Carmel 8, Santa Fe Christian 9, and the Scripps Ranch Falcons coming at number 10. They continue to win over there in Scripps Ranch. Jax Leatherwood doing an excellent job for the Falcons, but that is my top 10. We'll be joined by TopDAWG in just a little bit. We'll get ready here for J.T. O'Sullivan, the head football coach of Patrick Henry. Is still relatively new as the head football coach at Patrick Henry, doing an outstanding job with the Patriots in the City League and getting ready for a big game against University City tomorrow night. We bring in J.T. O'Sullivan. And Coach O'Sullivan, how's it going? Thanks again for joining us. Appreciate it.
What's up, Braden? How we doing? That's my Collinsworth slide.
No, I like that. That was nice. Hopefully you're getting your grub on here at Nicolosi's. And again, thanks again for joining us just down the street from Patrick Henry High School. Let's talk about you specifically before we dive into you as a coach and then some of your players. But you had a good football career, play at a very high level. A couple years ago you become the head football coach at Patrick Henry. What led you to be a high school football coach, and in particular a head football coach, and why did you apply for the Patrick Henry job when it first came around?
Well, there's a lot in there. There's a lot of reasons. I think the biggest reason is that football gave me so much. It really did, and I feel like there's an element of paying it forward to the game as far as an impact it made for my life. It was really a trampoline for my life. And if I can give back to anyone in that regard, I think it's almost my responsibility to do so. And so that was kind of the driving force. The Patrick Henry job specifically, I thought it was the best job available when I kind of wanted to get back into the football thing and see if this was something that I wanted to do. And so it just worked out timing-wise and across the board. So that's kind of how it fit.
A lot of players go to coaching, and and coaching's a little bit different than it is playing, because there's a lot of players that have been really good on the field and haven't been able to coach. For you in your first couple of years of being the head coach, what were some of the early challenges that you faced in kind of transitioning from the player role to the coaching role?
I mean, so many. I mean, where can we start? How long is this? No, I mean, I've made a significant amount of mistakes on every layer possible. Whether it's from scheduling to logistics to expectations to hiring to teaching to all of the above. And so, I'm trying to hold away the same thing that we kind of demand and hold our players to kind of as the standard that we operate, to be adaptive, to change, to morph, to continue to get better. And that's kind of what we try to model as a staff. And so, I try to name my mistakes to the team, and we get an opportunity to talk about them when there are, and just continue to grow. But there wasn't one kind of, critical, massive error. I think it's just a little things where same thing as playing football. There you're going to watch the tape, you're going to get better, you're going to keep moving forward and try to, build towards those championship moments.
Let's talk a little bit about, kind of the transition again, from being a player to a coach, and some of the things I think a lot of people, maybe think about with your expertise in the high level that you played at and how complex the game is at the high level when it comes to, maybe some scheme things you can do and different types of plays you can do. When you're coaching at the high school level, how much do you simplify it, and how much of the, advanced stuff can you run at the high school level, when your kids buy in?
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends, unfortunately,
right,
as kind of a crummy answer. But the reality is that what we try to do schematically, at least offensively, is very similar to what I think gets run at the highest level. And so we definitely don't carry the volume of options, but
right,
what we do, the level of detail, the level of communication, the level of expertise in a smaller kind of bucket of plays is exactly the same. Now, we might not get the same amount of reps, because you're not getting walkthrough meetings, multiple walkthroughs, film sessions, those types of things. But the communication that we use at the line of scrimmage is the same as every NFL team I was ever at. And so, I'm not reinventing the wheel when it comes to,
right,
how some of these things are done. It's just about what can our players handle, what are they really good at, and then fine-tuning those things. But I would love for it to be more, and that's kind of how I try to teach it to them, by saying, hey, as we build trust, this continues to grow. There's not a hard ceiling as far as what we're able to run or what we're able to do. It's, hey, what do we do well? What can you prove that you can learn and handle and execute at a high level on Friday nights? And we're going to keep adding to it, keep having fun, and hopefully keep scoring points.
Obviously, things change when it comes to preparation when you're a player compared to a coach. And aside from just like the little things of, worrying about, your entire team instead of maybe just, yourself going into the game, for you, like when you get close to kickoff as a coach, do you still feel the same nerves as when you're a player? What's kind of the lead-in for JT O'Sullivan right before Patrick Henry kicks off?
Well, I mean, I would probably walk that back a little bit. I was never fortunate enough to play a significant amount in the league, right? So my nerves were a little bit different when you're, looking at the pictures. So the other thing about that is that I don't know if I necessarily ever feel like, I'm not a guy who's like throwing up beforehand, right, or like massive butterflies. I really rely on the preparation. And I feel like if I'm prepared, I'm excited. I've never gone into a football game where I feel unprepared. Now,
right,
that doesn't mean it's going to work out perfectly
right,
every time, right, by any means. But I'm not – I feel really confident, this is a good night, for example, that we've done everything we can to have a great opportunity tomorrow night. Now, that doesn't mean that, we still got to go out there and execute and play at a really high level. But I feel confident in our systemic approach, what we're doing on the practice field, what we're doing with preparation, what we're doing scheme-wise, what we're taking care of our body, the entire program going in the right direction, that all that is a foundation to go out and play at a high level. And so I feel confident with that. I appreciate our staff and everything that they're doing, but I'm more excited. Like, I've got a bunch of things that I like, God, I hope we get a chance to call this. I hope we get a chance to call this. And these guys will probably be able to tell you that, there's certain things that I get really excited about, but it's just about making sure we're ready to go.
Before we move on to some of your players and move on to the challenges that University City might bring for you tomorrow, what's the one thing, and I'm sure it might be a multiple of things, but that one thing for you that makes you the happiest when you coach, the most exciting thing, and the most that you get out of coaching?
Yeah, I would say that there's a few things there. The one thing is just making an impact in these young people's lives. I mean, that really it is. And I touched on a little bit of just about how football was a trampoline for me. And so when you see it, and it doesn't mean that it's going to be a trampoline to the league.
Right.
But it is going to be a trampoline on your confidence, how you carry yourself, how you understand to work with, be part of a team, be something bigger than yourself, learn what it feels like to work hard, learn what it feels to fight through adversity in the spotlight, under lights, when people are looking at you, those types of championship moments that are a lot of fun to create in a safe environment for our players, our team, our program, this community, all those types of things that are unique to American football. The other thing, probably selfishly for me, is I get a chance to do this with one of my best friends. Our defense coordinator is someone I played college ball with. He's a good friend. I couldn't imagine doing it without him. And so to have a person that I can trust that has the same kind of passion and kind of underlying values makes it easier for sure.
I kind of want to ask a follow-up on that, just because of, because I coach football too. I really enjoyed it. My dad was a high school football coach for a long time. He's still doing it. And the thing that's really hurting football right now is, obviously numbers, in the fact that, with all the, the storylines with concussions and everything that will deter maybe a parent from maybe having their son play tackle football. What would your pitch be to maybe some parents or to maybe some people on the fence about letting their son play tackle football, in terms of, what value it brings and why it's important to go out there and play high school football?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I don't know if I would ever put myself in the authority to be able to tell a parent anything. I would tell them that they need to do whatever's best for their family, but I can tell you, modeling it, and this is the same thing I would say to our team, all I can do is model the way. And so what I try to do with my kids, I'm fortunate enough to have 3 young boys. They very much want to play football. Now, I'm sure that's, biased because they see me do it on so many different levels. But for us, the safety element is really important. I think the game continues to evolve in the right direction, maybe not as fast as I would like. Maybe, it's still pulled in certain directions. It continues to get safer and safer. Equipment gets better and better. How we practice gets better and better. Everything is better, but it's still not safe, and it never really will be safe. I think for me, when you talk about the numbers thing, it is a safety element, but it's also there are just a lot of great options for young people right now. And so let's make it more fun. For us, like at Patrick Henry, we have, if you want to come play football, we want you. This is week, 7, 8, I lost track. But if you're coming out for the team, we're open for business. We want the numbers, we want to grow the program, all those types of things that, for whatever reason, in the past, I think there's an element of dated, macho, tough guy. You're going to yell at you. It's going to be like this. We're going to run if we do this. That's not what we do. The game. I think sports have evolved. I think there are better ways to discipline. I think all of the above. If you're trying to create a great experience and you're trying to impact young people's lives, well, then let's do that. Is that running gassers? For us, it's not.
Right.
For us, it's not. But at the same time, we're going to hold people accountable. We're going to tell the truth, and I hope that they respect that.
There's ways to hold kids accountable without just running them into the ground for no apparent reason aside from running them into the ground. So I totally agree with everything you're saying on that front. You're talking about the program at Patrick Henry, and when I was in high school, Patrick Henry was in the top league in the city league. For you, what is the? I'm sure you got short-term goals for this season. What are the long-term goals for you as long as you are at Patrick Henry, of where you would like to see the program grow?
We're excited for it to continue to kind of elevate on an upward trajectory. We're not going to put an artificial ceiling on it, to be honest with you. The beautiful thing about it, and you touched on it right there, is football is such a marathon and a sprint layered in, right? This week is a sprint. Everything is about this week, this opponent, but also the capacity to say, hey, this is their entire high school experience. We want to build the program. We want to interweave it into the community. We want to be seen out in the community, promoting it in the right way to build that team, to build that support. And so those things can go hand in hand. I really do think that there's a seamless being able to hold consciously the long-term overarching goals of to have an outstanding football program that anybody associated with Patrick Henry San Carlos can be very proud of, and to create a great experience for our players, our fans, our students, anybody tethered to the program. And we need to win, and we need to get better immediately. And so we can do all of those all at the same time. Hopefully we can.
Right.
Doesn't mean that we will. And
Right.
so that's the difficult part about it. But that's the part that you touched a little bit about. That overlaps in life, right? Like
Right.
there's always multiple things that we're trying to hold to continue to improve. But the football part of it for me that's so fun is it's a uniquely American sport. It creates a unique sense of community that is just different. Like, no offense, I love baseball. I do.
Right.
I love baseball. High school baseball doesn't necessarily bring the community together every week like
Right.
a high school football game does. And that's not a shot on baseball. That's any high school sport. It's just different. And so to promote that type of community, I love that. Like, I really do. I played American football in other countries, and it's unique. And so it's fun to be part of that and create that experience for other people.
Well, especially when we're talking about football in general, in terms of, like, you know, kids on special teams have a job and they buy into what their job is, and they go out there and they go perform their job. And there's kind of a sense of pride knowing it's like, you know what, I might only be on kickoff, but this is going to help my team, you know, win in a sense. And, you know, I like preaching that as well, but you hit the nail on the head right there.
Oh, that's
so
a
bring in,
that's a true slide in right there.
That's right. That was a nice little slide in. I wanted to talk a little bit about, obviously, the kids on your team and the challenge that UC brings for you guys tomorrow. Let's start with UC, and then I'll let you talk about your kids. University City got a really good quarterback, obviously. You know, somebody that transferred in from Lincoln. They're a good football program. They got a good, you know, win-loss record, league matchup for you guys. You know, what are some of the challenges UC brings for you? And, you know, tell us a little bit about, you know, what you're looking forward to playing in UC tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, you touched on a number of things there. You really glossed over like one of the better players in the entire area. But I think Coach Lawrence has done a great job. I mean, that's a quick turnaround. I know how difficult it is to go into a program and try to do that. And so it's been really impressive to see their start this year. They have a number of really skilled players. And, you know, I think the quarterback is top 10 in the nation in scoring. You know, and so it's not just him. He's certainly a dynamic athlete on a number of different levels and special player, but they've got some speed on the perimeter. They really do. And they're a young team that's going to get better and better and better. And so we've got our hands full, you know, but at the same time, it's a great opportunity. You hope you get opportunities to play league games like this. And so we're excited to match up and see where we fall.
And you guys got some great athletes as well. Two gentlemen joining us. They're diving into pizza right now, and I've already had the debate of whether or not pineapple should be on a pizza or not. But two guys that were about to join us here, Mekhi Elliott and Elijah Lux. Talk to us a little bit about them, what they bring to Patrick Henry, and what you enjoy coaching them.
Yeah, I love coaching both those guys. We have a number of players that really enjoy, that have really bought into what we're trying to build. Mekhi is a perfect example. He plays tight end, plays defensive end, is a great run blocker, probably wishes he could get more touches with spinning the ball, and I kind of wish we could too. But the reality is we've got a lot of talented guys on the perimeter. And so touches are a premium, like any team. But it's one of those things for us. He's a senior captain. He's the only senior captain. We've got some great underclassmen in the program, but he is in a unique role to kind of elevate the program and hold the standard. And so he's such a good player. The first year that we were in 19, when we were at Henry, we didn't even have a tight end. Really, we didn't play offense with the tight end. And so we've certainly evolved as our players have evolved and try to build the system around their skill set, but Mekhi does everything we asked him to. He's a great leader, an influencer. He brings people with him, and so we're just trying to cultivate that type of experience for everyone and to continue to lift it in the right direction. And Elijah Lux, I mean, we're really fortunate to have two really good backs. Tobias Harris, also another great back. You know, when you get that guy the ball, you look like a really good coach. You know, it's no secret to that. But it really does start and stop up front with us. Our group, we've got 4 juniors starting at the offensive line. They get better and better every single week. We need them to get better and better offensively, and it's one of those things where we just try to continue to grow and be as dynamic as we can offensively. But I think the thing that people, kind of sleep on a little bit with us, we might have struggled a little bit in 19 playing defense, and it was my fault as much as anyone's. And if you look at the jump that we made from the last spring playing defense to this fall playing defense, we've got some dudes that can run, and we've got some guys that can tackle, and we're pretty dynamic on both sides of the ball. So it's fun to see both sides kind of elevate the program together.
I'm fired up about Patrick Henry football right now, for sure.
You got another guy I want to talk about that doesn't get a lot of headlines. That's Omar Hamlet. Tell me about Omar.
Omar doesn't get a lot of headlines? Omar is a dynamic cat, man. He really is. He's dynamite when he touches the ball. He plays both ways for us. Got, I think, 2 ridiculously long pick sixes. I don't do him a good enough job getting him the ball. Another great example of good problems to have as a coach. But he is a dynamic player when he touches the ball, and he just stretches the field. He's fast. He's got speed. He's got wiggle. He's got everything that you want in a perimeter football player.
So in the offseason, there was, obviously Elijah went to Texas for a while, and we all were kind of aware of that. And I was sad because I was a former member of the Patriot Nation. And what was it like when you got that phone call knowing that he was coming back?
Well, I was excited for Elijah. I was excited for him to get a chance to play with his friends that he grew up playing Pop Warner with. Excited for him to continue his process at Patrick Henry. He had such a great 19 season. He was our team MVP as a sophomore, really electric, running the ball. I think his last game, the playoff game, we ended up playing the entire game in Wildcat. He had 40 carries for 350 as a sophomore. It really, really, really impressive on a number of different levels. And for him to, I think we all have gone through significant struggles the last 2 years, on a number of different levels. And for him to come back and take advantage of this, I'm not a huge stats guy, but I know the last 2 weeks he's had pretty ridiculous weeks running the ball. And so it's been fun to see him come into his own.
I got one more question for you. So in the offseason, people don't know, I actually went through his QB school. Tell me a little bit about the QB school and tell our viewers and everybody out there. Listen, I thought I knew football. 5 minutes in this thing, I was like, dude, football's a numbers game. Like, I learned something, like, every time I sit there and, like, watch 20 minutes, I had to stop, go back, rewatch it, stop, go back, rewatch it. Talk about the QB school. Tell us, like, why, number one, why'd you do it? And number two, how can high school coaches benefit from watching?
Well, that's very nice of you. I appreciate you saying that. Honestly, it started when I started thinking about getting into coaching. I took kind of a sabbatical from ball. I went back to school, finished my doctorate, and so all of a sudden I had all this time on my hands. My brother's a cinematographer. He's in the podcast game, and so he was like, hey, we'll set you up, and you can try and see if you like football again, because I needed a break. And so I did. I love it more than I could have ever guessed. It's fun to create content. It's fun to share. Again, just another way to give back to the game that's given me so much. And then I think what you're talking about specifically are some of the courses that are definitely in-depth. Wow. And so they're not necessarily made for coaches, although coaches resonate with some of it. And I just really dive into whatever subject I like and create the curriculum around it. It's experiential, like how I coached it, how I experienced it in the league. But really, it's just, what do I find interesting? And let's dive into it deep. So we have an RPO course, a pass protection course, a how to beat every coverage course, and then we just put out a tempo course.
So I should say it's not really fair, because when we had our 707 program, I was going through your how to beat every coverage course, and it really helped me win some games.
There you go. You're welcome.
JT, it's been a pleasure. I really appreciate you joining us. We got a couple young guys that we want to get on with on here too.
Right, appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Appreciate the time.
Yeah,
absolutely. Good luck tomorrow.
Yeah, bro.
You want to switch to the other side?
Do I have to?
Yeah, you got to hold the mic.
Nah.
Yeah.
No, they get to hold that mic. We'll share this one. They share that one.
No, that's how Calvin told us to do it. So here, take that one. I'll go over here.
All right.
Elijah, go the other side.
All right, Elijah, I come over here. What do I know? I'm late.
Do the switcheroo.
What do I know? I'm late.
First of all, gentlemen, thanks again for joining us. We got Mekhi Elliott and Elijah Lux. Okay.
Thank you for having me.
You guys just enjoyed some pizza. How was it?
It was pretty good.
Any shouts out to Nick Losey's?
Shout Appreciate it for having us and for the pizza.
You got pineapple on your pizza?
Sure did.
A little inside joke before.
Pineapple on the pizza.
Uh,
I don't know, man.
So we were just talking with your head coach, and obviously a great guy, right, and a great coach, but somebody that has played football at a high level. We'll start with you, Makai. Talk to us a little bit about what it's like to learn from a coach that has been there and been at the highest level, and being able to give back to you guys as your head coach.
It's been honestly great because he's taught us every single level of our position groups, and we've learned from stepping down to routes and how to sell for the better than the quarterback, and even little things that matter to help us be better as a team all the time.
So I had a question for you. Okay, so you ever seen film on him? You ever seen film when he played in the league? Seen the
Hey, you guys watch tape on your coach?
Yeah, a little bit. I looked him up when he first became our head coach. But it was cool that he played for the Niners and a bunch of teams. But yeah.
You guys ever have a film session instead of him telling you guys what's going on? You should break down his tape a little bit. A little return of the favor.
Yeah, we should get our quarterback Malachi just to do that. That would be actually funny. Just see if he did it, bro, and just see.
We might come do a podcast that one of you
That'd
guys
be kinda
break
fun.
down we'll do reverse of John Gruden's QB camp and have your starting
We'll
quarterback
break
break
down
down
his tape.
JT O'Sullivan's film. What do you think?
That'd be live.
We'll since we asked Makai the last one, Elijah, let's talk to you a little bit about playing football, and when did you fall? When did you first love football, and what's your favorite thing about playing football?
I mean, at first, I didn't like it at all.
Really?
I used to quit and leave football practice all the time. I used to get mad. I don't know why. But, I don't know. I just kept going back. So, I just I started loving it, I guess.
What was the change for you? What did you not like about football when you were a kid to now what do you like about it?
See, I didn't like that I had to condition all the time. I had
Oh,
to
you
run.
didn't
I
want
had
to do
to
the
run
running.
a whole lot. But, I mean, I don't know. I just kept going back to doing it. And, I started getting passionate about it. And, I started getting good. So, I don't know. I just found it as my way out, I guess.
How about you?
My favorite thing is the physicality. I love hitting people. It's really fun. Just learning the game from O'Sullivan has taught me how to be dedicated to something, and I really appreciate him for teaching me how to play football.
So all three of my sons graduated from Patrick Henry. So I'm a former. And I don't know if you guys know this, but back in the day, I used to be Patrick Henry on social media, and I ran all the social media accounts for Patrick Henry. But I gotta say, those uniforms.
Those are nice.
Those look
Those
way
are
better
nice.
than anything I ever seen any of my dudes wearing. So I want to know. Tell me a little bit. Tell me a bit about the Jumpman all
Jumpman's nice.
blackout. Because I ain't never seen that before. Tell me about that.
Best in California with the uniforms, for real, for sure.
So tell me,
I
what
can't
did you
really
have to
argue
go
with that.
through? What did you have to go through to get these uniforms? Because JT, I mean, look, that's swag.
That's good stuff.
That's like Oregon swag, y'all.
I tell you right now, waking up at 6 a.m. hot every day, practicing, you know what I'm saying, elevating the program, being early to everything, being on time, just doing the right thing.
So did he cut you a deal and say, hey, if you guys do A, B, C, and D, I'll get you these?
If we had to do A, B, C, D, and more.
Elijah's sitting there going this is why I didn't like football when I was a
I
kid.
swear we had to go through it, but hey, we kept elevating, we kept going, and he noticed it, so we earned him.
Do you feel it gives him an advantage as a head coach being a former player at a higher level? Does he relate to you guys better than maybe say than some of the other coaches you've had in your career?
I mean, yeah, because everybody knows that he's been at that high level, so I guess everybody knows that his opinion is golden, I guess.
Big game tomorrow. Obviously, you guys are playing University City, and we were talking with your head coach, and they bring a lot of challenges. You guys diving into league play here, representing the city league, and one of the steps to try to win a league championship, you got to go through University City. So, what was the preparation like this week, and what are you expecting out of University City tomorrow?
Trusting our game plan. As every week we always have a different game plan for every team. Believing in our guys, we always believe in each other. We every time we step on the field, we gotta trust one another, and I always trust him. I trust my line and my quarterback.
JT, I think you've done some interview practice with this young man because he answered that perfectly without giving the other team any bulletin board material, okay? Now, let's see if you can top that. What are you looking forward to?
Oh, no.
He topped it off. Really just trust. We got to all trust each other and just be physical and fast and elevate each other.
So see, Sam, Caden, you guys, they didn't give you Coach Lawrence, they gave you no bulletin board material, okay? He's coached them very well, even in interviews.
Patrick Henry's had some pretty good football players roll through there, including a Heisman Trophy winner. Went on to have a really good NFL season, or NFL career. Ricky Williams, obviously the class of Patrick Henry High School. For you guys, I've asked a handful of players this about playing at their school and playing and wearing the same uniform. Obviously, yours are way cooler than what Ricky Williams wore when he was at Patrick Henry, but the sense of how cool is it knowing that you were playing at a high school that somebody that won a Heisman Trophy and somebody that went on to have a really good NFL career played at? What's it like playing on the same program?
I gotta say, let me add on to that before you guys answer that question. Rick Williams was a long time ago.
Time ago.
But let's talk about more recently. You guys know Desmond Patman. Yeah. Mama still live right down the street, right there in the Crimson and Red house from her Wazoo colors. And then Cameron Klein. Cameron's in the league too. And those two played, 3, 4, 5 years ago at Henry. So, not that long ago. What's it like? When you look back, and Desmond still comes out there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Desmond will stop by. And one of our 7-on-7 games. Yep. So what's it like when you see guys that aren't that much older than you playing in the league?
That really just gives us the drive to just try to be better and keep going, and we know we can get to that level because they did.
Yeah, strive for what they can do because of seeing them knowing that they went to our school and we can do what they can do. You got to work hard.
So my son played with Cameron Klein. Cameron was your size when he was in high school. And he went out and played at South Dakota, and he made the most out of every opportunity he had. What's next for you? Where do you see yourself in a year, 2 years, 3 years? What do you want for your career?
I really want to keep playing football. I think most likely I'm going to go to El Camino or Southwestern down 20 minutes away from my house, but and try and keep playing, developing my game, getting better every day, every time I have the opportunity to.
And Elijah, same question to you. Where do you see yourself?
It's options right now. I'm weighing out my options. I just got an offer from Portland State recently, so I think more is gonna come, but wherever's better for me, I guess.
Wherever you find your perfect fit, right?
Yeah, find my perfect.
I got one more question because your coach was talking about you playing tight end and being more of a guy that likes to block than necessarily run routes to a sense. By the way, that will get you on a team at any type of level if you can block at a tight end, because I know a handful of schools that would love to have a tight end that can block. But for you, when everybody talks about, when everybody wants to be, that receiving tight end, what kind of pride do you have knowing that you get in there and get the dirty work done too?
Well, it's rewarding. So even though I don't get the glory for blocking Red Lux all the time, but it's just rewarding knowing that I'm helping my teammates succeed for us, and it just helps me mentally, and that I know that if I do my job for my teammates and him, I just will win.
I'm gonna take you a little bit back to watching Cameron Klein play. I can tell you this, and Cameron, if you ever watch this, yes, I said it because I watched you play. That dude couldn't catch. Honestly. So it's proof in the pudding that he played defensive end and tight end for the Patriots, and he didn't catch a lot, but he went on to have an extended career as a defensive end. So I don't know if that gives you any inspiration, but it doesn't mean you always have to catch the ball to get that offer to go on to the next level. So one last question I got to ask about the uniforms again, because, bro, I'm sorry, these are fly.
Those are nice.
I'm sorry, bro. He got a little leather action right here. Man,
Jordan print.
the little Jordan print, got the Henry, got the All Blacks. What you guys think? What do you think Desmond Patman and Cameron Klein would say about these uniforms? What'd they say?
Hating right now. They probably looking at us right now, hating like, "Ooh, I wish I would have had those."
Yeah,
You guys get to keep those. You have to give them back.
sadly. Sadly.
There was a hell no that came from somewhere in the restaurant over
If
here.
I rush for over a few thousand yards, I'm retiring this thing.
He said, okay,
He's
so
so
he
retired.
said a few thousand. Okay, remember.
We're ending the interview there.
2,000 is a couple. A few thousand has to be
Few
3. So
thousand.
you run 3,000, I will buy that jersey from Coach, and you get to keep it. JT, is that a deal? He races for he runs for 3,000.
He's not convinced. He's not
All right,
convinced.
all right.
You guys
3
got
racks.
pineapple
That's what it's
pizza to
gonna
go
cost you.
eat. So again, appreciate the time. Good luck tomorrow,
Good
gentlemen.
luck. Represent
Okay,
the
have a
the
good rest
Patriot
of your guys'
Nation well.
season, and we appreciate your time.
Hashtag Patriot Nation.
I still don't agree with Elijah on his pizza choice.
Hey,
But
that's
aside
all
from
right.
that, well, it's
Hey.
funny. So we were talking about it before, and he's like, "Oh man, they got pineapple pizza."
Dude, my
And
mom loves pineapple pizza, and I always have
well,
to
then
order
Makai
one.
was like looking at him like, "What are you talking? I'm not eating pineapple on my pizza." And then they asked me, and I said, "No, I do not eat.
No.
I
Let
do
me-
not
hey,
have pineapple
Did
pizza."
Did it have Canadian bacon too? See,
It's Hawaiian
nah,
style.
man.
I don't do that.
Come on, man.
Well, then I think so. What happened was while we're waiting for you to get here.
Sorry.
So Elijah orders it, and I think the waitress said she liked it, and he looks over here and he's like, "What up, boss?" She likes pineapple pizza. I was dying.
That's class.
I thought that was really
That's
funny.
class.
We talked a little bit about let's kind of.
I saw. But by the way, I watched the show on the way here,
Oh, thank you.
so I will
like
tell
my
you,
monologue?
I like your top 10.
My top 10.
I
You
don't
enjoyed it.
really have any differences in my top 10. I think you did a fantastic job on your top 10.
Thank you.
Santa Fe Christian was a little bit of a surprise, but they have been playing well, so I could see that.
They're playing well. The thing we talk about it every week. It's
Yeah,
like once you
but-
get to a
yeah,
certain
but-
point, it's like I mean.
Listen, I don't. The only
It's a
knockoff
crapshoot.
I see on there that I think head to head, if a team went against them would beat them would be Eastlake. I just think Eastlake's
so too.
defense. I just think
they're bigger than
Eastlake's
Santa Fe
yeah.
Christian. I just
I see Eastlake not on that list.
can they score points against a team
I'm
that's
not
not
even
named Olympian?
Who?
He's like,
Oh, you're killing me, Smalls.
I'm just saying.
You're killing me, Smalls. Are you having like leftovers from when Jace got fired the other day or something?
No,
No,
I wasn't really upset about that either.
really?
I felt bad
It
for
changed
the
your
guy.
entire show.
I felt bad for the. Well, it's made my show easy.
Did it really? What? Just
I mean,
turn on the phones and let
tomorrow's
everybody
show's
else
gonna
talk.
be like shooting fish in a barrel. It's gonna be. Cake.
Really?
Yeah, people get upset. You got a good
Who's
phone
the
call,
higher?
By the way,
Who's the higher?
I don't know. I'm not.
We're digressing, but this is important to San Diego.
We'll tune into tomorrow's John Quintero show and you'll find out.
Oh, all right, that's fair.
But with Eastlake, I mean, to me, it's such a Jekyll and Hyde team, right? I mean, they go out there and they do well, every once in a while. Then they lose to teams like El Camino, but El Camino lost last week to LCC.
Yeah, I didn't.
That's
see
another team that's just Jekyll and
That.
Hyde. right
Yeah, El Camino's.
El Camino goes out and they beat Eastlake
Yep.
and they lose to Grossmont.
Right. I don't get it.
I don't understand.
I don't
I
understand
don't
that.
understand where they come from.
Inconsistency.
Like it wouldn't surprise me if El Camino beat Torrey Pines, just because that's just kind of the season they're having.
Yep, I would agree.
Right? So I mean,
But
that's
Torrey ain't
that's-
gonna let that happen.
No, I don't think so either.
No.
Speaking of Torrey, that Torrey Carlsbad game
Wow.
was outstanding.
What? Hey, Julian saying, dude, let me just say
Outstanding.
this,
Good
okay?
drive.
Listen, I'll be the first one to tell you, I was counting my chickens before they hatched. I saw that score of the Torrey game, and I was like, wow, upset of the week. Torrey's going to knock off Carlsbad.
I picked them last week.
I thought they were
Covered.
going to do
They
it.
Covered.
And in the fourth quarter, that kid goes out and drops 3 dimes for 21 points. Comes back and wins the game by 1 freaking point. That was amazing. Hats off to that kid. That's I saw the highlights. That's got to be one of the most exciting football games of the season. Poor Ron Gladnick. I just feel bad for him.
That was a tough way to.
That was
to
a
end
tough
that
way to
game.
lose the game, man.
They stayed for the fireworks show. Right?
Yeah, well,
I
I think they had a bus contract or something. I
What
don't know.
about we were at Nicolosi's last week, the other Nicolosi's, and again, thank you to Nicolosi's for having us.
Ron
this
Brunner,
week, the one
appreciate
out in
you.
East County. 35-0 over Santana last week.
Yep.
That's a big win for them because of
What I tell you, though.
same division.
What I tell you. The week before we talked about this, while we were at Nicolosi's, I said, I'm not buying into Santana being that high in ranking. I said, El Capitan is a sleeper team that's going to punch somebody in the mouth with those Theokley boys.
I don't think they're sleeping.
What happened?
I think people in D3 are aware of them.
They need to be aware. That's
But
the team you don't want to face. I'm telling you.
That sets up the Ron Burner.
But how do they drop? I don't understand that. They dropped in seeding.
I
They
can
beat a
explain
team-
that I can explain that if you want
Bizarre.
me to just go on a diatribe.
No,
By
I
the
really
way,
don't. I really don't.
I'm proud of myself. I taught myself Excel and I made myself. You know, ESPN's like NFL playoff machine.
Yes.
I made one for high school.
Oh, speaking of playoff machine, I have a challenge for you.
Challenge?
Yes. I've already accepted it, but it's a conditional challenge.
Conditioning.
I
challenge.
can't go unless you go.
What is it?
Brandon Stone from KUSI has invited us back for the CIF brackets when they come out that Saturday morning to do a live show.
Ooh. I'm in.
You're in? You heard it, Brandon. I got your guy.
What day,
Both of us are
what
coming.
Day would that be?
I'm not sure yet.
That'd be the November 1st or something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So tune in. We're gonna be on PPR, or not even PPR. It's KUSI.
KUSI's,
It'll be
yeah.
a special broadcast with Brandon
like
Stone. We need a fourth though. Who you think? Who you want to
I'll
invite?
find somebody.
No, I want somebody good.
Wanna
Any
bring in
ideas?
coach or no?
You think you'll do it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I'm good with that
That's
if
a
you'll do
name.
it.
They gotta earn it though. They gotta earn
You
the
gotta earn
spot.
it?
They gotta
You
earn the
gotta earn
spot. So if you got another name for me, we'll put it together.
What about Dago Football?
Nobody knows who that is.
We can invite him.
See if he shows up. See
Dago
See what
Football.
person
Top
shows up.
Dog is inviting you to be part of our foursome to go over the CIF rankings. What do you think?
We're digressing. LCAP West Hills setting up a good Tony Burner matchup, memorial matchup.
Man, listen, I
That's
get
gonna be a hell of a football
goosebumps.
game.
I get goosebumps sitting in Nicolosi's talking about the Tony Burner Memorial Game. Not
West
many
Hills
people
6-0,
know.
LCAP 5-1. Now, obviously, they both got to take care of business before that game, but that's a league championship game.
It is.
That's
It
gonna
is.
be a good football
And
game.
El Capitan's going to win.
Absolutely. No offense to West Hills. Any other games you want to talk about last week before we talk about this week?
There was one. Go down.
Ramona, Scripps Ranch, Mission Hills.
Oh, hold on.
San Diego High.
Mount
beating
Miguel, Monte
University
Vista.
City?
Mount Miguel, Monte Vista.
That's not a good football game.
It just, again, Monte Vista losing does hurt certain teams' seedings
Well,
for
there's-
CIF.
There is, and I'll send you the spreadsheet
And they
I have.
hit
but-
that mark now where
Well, they only have
it's kind of like
they have
a
to
no
win.
turning point.
Well, they have to win. In order for it to change, they have to win out.
well, they had to win out last week. Starting last week to
They need
win
to win
out.
3 games. They only have 2 left.
They had to win.
They have to win 3 games to not be in the bottom tier.
I thought they only had to win 4.
No, they have to win 3.
All right.
They
Well,
have to
I
win-
digress.
But
there.
anyway, it doesn't matter. That's just to get out of the bottom.
Poway Del Norte was a good game. Del Norte fought strong. Poway proved to be just a little bit too much as last week. Poway is another team I think that's on the board of the top 10.
All right, let's go through this week's picks. Tomorrow, Carlsbad at San Marcos. Do you want to waste your time picking that game?
I'll take Carlsbad.
I'll take Carlsbad minus 1,000. La Costa Canyon at Oceanside. Oceanside's favored 28-22.
I'll
Does
take
La Costa
LCC.
Canyon get both Oceanside schools this year?
Yes.
I'll take them plus 6. Torrey Pines at El Camino. Torrey Pines is favored by
21.
21.
I'll take Torrey.
I'll take Torrey as well. Moving down the list here.
Let's go
what about-
Central.
What about you want to do the Central
I
League?
do want to do Central.
Okay, Hoover at Claremont. I got Hoover.
I'm taking Hoover for the dub.
Mission Bay at Crawford. Give me Mission Bay.
I'll
I'm
take
sorry
Mission
to,
Bay.
I'm sorry to pick against your alma
I'm
mater,
sorry.
but Mission
I
Bay
have
is-
to do it
is
because
favored to win
Matt
by
Marquez,
28
don't shoot
points.
me. That,
San Diego
yeah.
at Coronado should be a good one. San Diego's projected to win by 7. John Maffey picked San Diego High to beat Coronado as well.
I'm taking the Cabers as well.
I'm taking the Cavers. University City at Patrick Henry. Patrick Henry is projected to win by 4. Henry minus 4.
I'm taking the
I'm taking
Patriots.
the Patriots too. Patriots minus 4. Hopefully they cover. Bishop.
Hey guys, I need an extra tub in the fourth quarter to make me cover. Okay. All
the
right.
spread.
Appreciate it.
Bishops at Parker. Bishops. Is
Wait a
favored
minute.
by
Is that
line.
illegal?
Yes, you can't do that.
I can't do that.
No.
I can't say that.
No, you can't.
There's
say
no money on the line though.
I know, but good. Well, there's not any money on the line that we know of.
But if I,
I'm
oh
sure
man,
Vegas might have lines.
I doubt it.
Vegas might have
I
lines.
doubt it.
England might have lines. They have
I
lines on
doubt
everything.
it.
Moving on. Bishops at Parker.
I'm taking Paca.
I'm taking Bishop. Santa Fe Christian at Classical Academy. Santa Fe Christian.
Santa Fe Christian.
Canyon Hills at Point Loma. Point Loma.
Dude, you got a coin?
Point Loma's projected to win 41-7. I'm taking the Pointers.
I'm taking the Pointers. That's
El
fine.
Cap at Mount Miguel. Give me El Cap by 3 touchdowns.
I'll take El Cap.
Monte Vista at Santana. Give me Santana by 4 touchdowns.
Yikes.
Monte Vista's not good.
I'll take Santana.
West Hills at El Cajon Valley. Give me West Hills by 4 touchdowns.
I'll take West Hills. Man, this isn't a good week.
It's not.
There's going to be some blowouts
Imperial
in
at Brawley.
this.
Give me Brawley.
Dude, these are all like,
Calexico at
These aren't even
Southwest El
easy.
Centro. Give
I'll
me
take Brawley.
Taking Southwest, barely.
Well, I took Brawley. I took
Brawley, too.
Yeah, I took Brawley.
I'm taking Southwest El Centro, too.
I'm taking Southwest, yep.
Eastlake at Hilltop. Give me Eastlake by
Eastlake.
50.
I'm taking it.
I'm taking it by 50. Modern Day at Otay Ranch.
Hold up.
Give me
Eastlake.
Modern Day by 3 touchdowns.
Eastlake, I've been good to y'all. Okay, I've been
Cover
good.
the 50.
I've been doing a lot. Please cover the 50.
You know, with Drew Smith going to Vegas, we don't get as much spread love anymore.
That's
Mrs.
true.
Drew Smith loved the spread.
She did.
She loved the spread.
Shout out to Mrs. Drew Smith. I miss you.
What game we're on? Modern Day at Otay Ranch. I got Modern Day. Bonita at Olympian.
Can I get
Bonita.
my pick?
You get the next pick right now.
Okay, I'm taking Party in the End Zone Modern Day.
Yeah.
I'm taking Bonita Vista against Olympian. Olympian's bad.
They're not very good. Castle Park at Mar Vista. Mar Vista's projected to win by 3 touchdowns.
I'll take Mar Vista.
I'm taking Mar Vista as well. Sweetwater at Montgomery. That should be a good game. I'm taking the Diablos.
I'm gonna take the Aztecs.
Really?
Yep. And you know why?
Why?
Coaching.
Coach
I got
Dunkel? TJ
3
McKay?
good coaches down there. Dunkel, McKay, and my boy DeMarco Sampson. I'm taking Montgomery.
Montgomery plus 8.
Hey, I'll take it.
Escondido Charter at Maranatha. I got Escondido Charter. They're projected to win by
I'm
56
taking.
points.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'll change
You
that back.
changing your mind?
Yeah, Escondido Charter.
Del Norte at Mount Carmel. Mount Carmel projected to win by 5. Is that the team that gets Mount Carmel before the playoffs?
No, Mount Carmel wins by 21.
I got Mount Carmel minus 5. Vista at Westview. Vista's projected to win 35-27. I'll take the Panthers.
I'll agree with you. I'll take the Panthers as well.
Ramona at Escondido. Give me Ramona. Rancho Buena Vista at San Pasqual. I'll take San Pasqual. Valley Center at Fallbrook. I'll take Valley Center.
I'll take Ramona, Rancho Buena Vista, and Valley Center.
Lincoln at La Jolla. I'll take Lincoln by 3 touchdowns.
Really? I thought you were gonna say La Jolla.
Why would I pick La Jolla?
I don't know.
Lincoln is way better than La Jolla is.
I'll take Lincoln.
Madison versus Saints at Mesa College. Madison's projected to win by a field goal. I think Saints upsets Madison.
That's an upset.
Basically, projection, yeah, it would be. I'll take Saints plus 3.
Listen, I don't know.
Saints plus 3 at home.
I don't know if you got to see the highlights for Mr. Grayson Holton last week, but that dude looked like a man possessed.
That's why I'm picking them
He
plus
was
3.
really pissed off. I'm going to take St. Augustine for the dub. Ben Follow, that's a big dude.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Yeah,
they had trouble stopping the run at Cathedral. You're going to have trouble stopping that dude. Trust me.
O'Farrell Charter at La Jolla Country Day. Give me La Jolla Country Day.
I'll take La Jolla Country
Rancho
Day.
Bernardo at Mission Hills. I'll take Mission Hills.
Mission Hills.
Tri-City Christian at Mountain Empire. I'll take Mountain Empire by 3.
I'm taking Tri-City Christian.
Orange Glen at Chula Vista. No projection on this one. I like the Patriots.
I'm taking Orange Glen.
Poway at Grossmont. Give me Poway by 2 touchdowns.
I'll take Poway.
Morse at Scripps. I'll take Scripps. Jeez, Louise.
Yikes, look at that spread.
Scripps isn't covering that spread, but they'll win by multiple touchdowns. They're projected to win 61-6. No.
Yeah, they are.
Hey, we got a Texas matchup for you.
I don't know. I mean, Scripps is going to win, but they ain't going to cover that spread.
Del Valle at Central. Del Valle from El Paso, Texas, is projected to win by 9. Do you know anything about that team?
I'm going to go with Del Valle.
I'm going to go with the team from El Paso. Mira Mesa at Moore Park up in Thousand Oaks. Do we know anything about Moore Park?
No. Except it's
Calvin,
Northern
do you know
California.
anything about Moore Park? Do
Yeah,
you pick
no.
Moore Park or do you pick Mira Mesa?
I got to take Mira Mesa.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to take the Marauders.
Yeesh.
Mission Viejo at Helix. Mission Viejo is projected to beat Helix by the same score that Servite did, 42-7.
I'm taking Mission Viejo.
I'm taking are they the Diablos too?
Yes.
I think they are. I'm taking the Fighting Mark Sanchez's.
The what?
The Fighting Mark
Oh,
Sanchez's.
jeez.
Granite Hills at
With
St.
the,
Francis.
you mentioned the dude in the butt fumble.
Hey man, it's a Mission Viejo alum. Granite Hills
So
at
is Rob Johnson.
St. Francis.
So is Rob Johnson.
Mark Sanchez, the first name that came to mind. Granite Hills at St. Francis from La Cañada. St. Francis from La Cañada beat Steel Canyon last week by 6 or 7.
I'm taking Granite.
I got St. Francis. That's it. I don't pick 8-man football games.
No,
No
me either.
disrespect. I
No
just don't
disrespect.
know.
I don't even
Just
watch
don't.
8 man.
Tonight, Hopeville played Palo Verde Valley. Do you want to pick that game?
Or
is that a night?
Is the score up?
I didn't see it.
I'll take Hopeville.
I'll take Palo Verde Valley.
Let's see if I start low.
Already starting on the wrong foot. If I can get it to work. No.
Oh, not up yet.
Here's a couple things that I learned from the CIF Power Rankings. There's a lot of games that impact a lot of people.
Yeah.
There's 3 games in particular that affect Cathedral in particular. One, if Saints beats Madison, that's good news for Cathedral. That's not only good news for Cathedral, it's good news for Lincoln too, because then it creates Saints gets that 3-win threshold, which is huge to boost the power
Right.
rating for both Lincoln and Cathedral.
Cathedral.
So Lincoln and Cathedral, big St. Augustine fans this week. The other game that's very important, surprisingly enough, it's actually more beneficial for Cathedral for Mission Hills to beat Torrey than it is for Torrey to beat Mission Hills. Don't ask me why. That's just what the numbers said based on
But
the
we
thing.
played Torrey and beat Torrey.
Right,
Torrey has one
right,
less, one
right.
more loss.
But-
That should hurt us.
Yeah, but it hurts. Carlsbad, it hurts. I don't know. It's
Well,
what
no.
it does is instead of having 2 teams that are 8-2, you most likely will have 2 teams at 7-3, which means they bump down another
Oh,
spot.
I got you.
The other thing too that benefits Torrey Pines is the fact that they didn't play San Clemente, so they have 1 less game that gets factored in their average, which
Okay.
is better
Okay.
odds for them. So those are a couple of games that impact that. And if you start going down the list, there are a lot of random games that impact teams, and it's going to get very, very interesting as based on the playoff machine, which I will share with you and we can talk about next week.
Yikes.
So that'll be fun.
Do I need a degree in mathematics to figure this thing out?
No, if I figured it out from my education of sports broadcasting, I'm sure you could figure it out, since especially you're way more into
Analytics?
coding and electronics and all that stuff. than
Hey,
I
by
am.
the way, you got to come to the house.
Oh, it's looking nice.
So I went a little. I'm in the doghouse, literally.
Oh,
I
top dog in the doghouse.
I am. The girlfriend has said I went bananas on our Halloween decorations.
Oh, I gotta see it.
I have a graveyard in my front yard.
Outstanding.
I have a
Festive.
12-foot spider.
You know
I've
what
got-
we have in
I've
front
got
of
a
our
fog
house that I
machine.
gotta put up?
What?
We put up a scarecrow that is
I'm working on a scarecrow.
with like a skeleton. It's
yeah,
kind of creepy.
I'm working on it.
We'll talk more about Halloween decorations next week. That's
Boom.
Top Dog. I'm Braden Surprenant. They're wrapping things up here at Nicolosi's. I'm sure they want us to get out of here. Calvin's been here. Calvin, did you get some pizza this time?
I did. Give our realtors.
Yep.
That's right.
Realtor shout outs.
I got my realtor shout out over here. Big thanks to Nicolosi's, like we said. Calvin Pierce doing an excellent job for us as
If you don't,
always.
if you don't follow him on social media, make sure you follow him on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at TSC Sports. And if you're looking for a videographer, he's got tons of videographers for hire that can come out to your games to give great field level video. Unbelievable. If you guys haven't had him out, there's a number of schools that have already had. But if you haven't, hit him up on social media. Get one of his videographers out there. It's a memory that your players, your parents, your fans, everybody loves his stuff.
And a big thank you to Mark and Frank Powell, San Diego Real Estate, your real estate pros, trusted, respected, recommended, 858-922-7725. Thanks to J.R. Tolver as well. He's Chris Smith. I'm Braden Surprenant. Thanks again for tuning in
Top
to the
dog.
High School Football Live Show. Have a good week to everybody that's playing tomorrow,
safe.
and we'll be talking to you next week.
Be safe, injury free.